Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome. If you're new, and welcome back. If you've been here before, I'm so glad you guys decided to join me today. I hope you all are having a great day, a great night, or whatever time of day it is. Um, so, before I get started, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I've been thinking once we get to like 50 subscribers, I want to do a live session to where you guys can like ask me questions and we could just have a conversation. To be honest, I really don't like talking to myself. This is so weird for me. I don't know if you've seen it in my other videos or whatever, but I did one that tells kind of about me just a little bit, and social media is kind of it's new for me. I mean, I've had like MySpace way back, when we was young, and Facebook, but even with Facebook, I don't really I don't put things on there about myself. I kind of just share things that I like um, that I kind of feel matches what however I'm feeling or whatever. Well, not necessarily how I'm feeling, but just reposting stuff, whatever. So yeah, so like just this is kind of weird for me. It's kind of awkward. So I really rather like start having just live conversations and we can just talk and all that stuff. So y'all hit the bell button so you know when I'm posting, and remember to share so other people can see it and like, so we can grow our community, and then we can do a live or whatever. So today I have a little frequency playing in the background, so you guys should definitely start getting into that. I can link it down below, what the frequency is, in the comment section. Anywho, so today I want to talk about one consciousness. So, when you're born into this world, into this dimension, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around. So, the spirit never dies, ever. It's not something that when you're, if you've ever seen Avatar, that's pretty much, that's actually exactly what this is. You, your spirit comes into the third dimension and you have an avatar. And when your avatar dies, your spirit does not. So, anyways, so back one consciousness. I'm already getting off track. There's one consciousness. So when you're born, you're led to believe, in a sense, that we are not all connected. Um, a lot of people go through things and they feel alone. And that's because you're taught that you're alone. And that is the biggest lie. Um, Things divide us. Hate is taught. I'm sure you've seen videos of like little kids like playing and all that, and they don't see difference. They see that this is someone that's like me. Period. It doesn't matter their background, it doesn't matter who their parents are, it doesn't matter their beliefs. None of that matters to children. And as you grow up, you're taught that apparently that matters. It doesn't. 444 on the timer. It does not matter. Those are things that are taught. Hate is taught. Race is taught. Division is taught. That's not something we come into this world knowing. And you really don't even need rules and guidelines to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You already know it. Trauma, if you let trauma, if you let trauma take you down the wrong path, then that's where the projecting and the division comes from. And even religion divides us. There are multiple roads to find source, or God, as a lot of people call it. Every religion has a piece of the puzzle, not all of the puzzle. Each one has a piece. Religion just divides us. Think about it. Some of the cruelest people that I know are religious. And I don't know if you've had that same experience, but I have a lot of times, repeatedly, over and over again. And I'm actually happy for it. I'm glad for it, of the way that I have been pushed out of religion, because it forced me to find a different path. I'm spiritual. And a lot of people are beginning to be that way. Um, you don't need anything outside of yourself to tell you what is what. Like I already said, when you're born into this world, you you don't you don't have all that indifference with people. It's all love. Love is the highest frequency. So back to one consciousness. There's only one. Okay. Source is the one consciousness. And when you get to a place to where you're in line with your highest version of yourself, when you go inside and find the information that you've been looking for, because it's all inside of you, it's encoded in your DNA, because you're a spiritual being. So everything that you need to know is in you. Literally, it is in you. Everything that I've learned did not come from a book. Nothing that I learned came from a book. Now, I may have come across information that confirmed what I knew. Spirit does give you confirmation, but learning from a book is not how I got any of the information that I've acquired. You have knowledge, and then you have wisdom, right? So wisdom is how to wisdom is how to apply the knowledge that you've acquired. And when you listen to someone else and you just take their word for it and you just run with it, whether it's in a book, whether it's a person talking, no matter what it is, it could lead you astray. So instead of looking for answers in someone else, instead of looking for answers in books, it really makes me think about, okay, so I grew up in a Christian environment. And of course, they talk about um, Adam and Eve eating the fruit, not supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge, only from the tree of life, right? And when I hear that, this is what I get. Life is what teaches you. Life is where you get your wisdom from. Life, what's inside of you, what's in your DNA, what you were born with. Life. Knowledge is fruit of the poisonous tree. It can lead you so far down the wrong way, and you're thinking, oh, okay, I know everything and I'm good to go. And you're learning things that don't mean nothing. Or they lead you in a path, down a path that you shouldn't be going. So I can I can understand that. Um, I'm not saying that any I'm not saying that starting from a religion is wrong. I'm not saying none of that. I'm not no. However, all the information that you're looking for comes from inside you, and that's all you need. Now, once you find that part of you, so you have your avatar and your spirit. And your avatar, when you're born, you're in line. You're in line with your spirit. Growing up, you become out of line with your spirit. And your avatar does things on its own. And it's not aligned with spirit. And that's where the problem is. You have to align your spirit back with your body. And when you do that, you start vibrating on a frequency to where you're in tune with others that are on that same frequency, which is the frequency of source. There was a great awakening that happened 3 years ago, approximately 3 years ago. There was a great awakening. And in this great awakening, the great awakening is when, okay, let me rewind just a little bit. You have source, which a lot of people call God, or whatever your religion calls God, and that's incorrect. I'm sorry, I apologize if I offend you, but that's incorrect information. There are gods and there are goddesses. Gods and goddesses exist. They are real. They're not fake. They're not made up. 1414 on the timer. They give you a lot of information in TV shows and comics and books and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that it's wrong, because it's not. The human mind is not that creative. We take stories, we recreate stories. However, they're still stories that are real. So, there was a point in time to where people did not understand that gods and goddesses weren't meant to be worshipped. And I honestly don't believe that most of the goddesses and gods were asked to be worshipped. But when you see something divine, something that you've never seen before, something or someone that can do things that a normal human can't do, then you, they believe that it should be worshipped. And that isn't the case. Gods and goddesses show you that you're capable of more than what you think you are. So, this is gonna. Okay. Sorry, you guys. There were 144,000 goddesses and gods sent down to the 3D, to Earth, what you call Earth, for the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening is when those gods and the goddesses basically woke up. I mean, most of us weren't ever really sleeping. We were more like on autopilot, I guess you can say. Kind of like trying to figure out things here because things here are different. But there was an awakening that woke us all up at once. And you may have noticed this. Spirituality, it became like this big bang 3 years ago. Now you see it everywhere. You see all of these people, not activists. They're not activists. They're more like they're guides. They're teachers. They're telling you, hey, this isn't true. Hey, the food you eat. Hey, you're more than that. Hey, we're the originals. Hey, like there's a firmament. Hey, like there are so many Rashad Jamal and Billy Carson, I think his last name is. Like people like this, they're the people, they're they're the ones that are trying to wake up the rest. I got a download about ghosts. So when you hear the word ghost, you're like, okay, ghost is a dead person that's walking around on Earth. Now, I'm not gonna say that's wrong. However, I got a different definition for ghosts. Ghosts are, so when you come to the 3D, you sign a contract. You have an assignment to complete. Whether your assignment is for you to learn a lesson, because Earth is a giant school. Reincarnation is real because the spirit never dies. Energy never dies. You can't kill energy, it doesn't die. Right? So you may go into a state of rest after your avatar dies, but then you have to go somewhere, right? Most of the time you're reincarnated, and it may not be here. You may reincarnate somewhere else. So Earth is a giant school. You have to be willing to come back. And now I'm not gonna say that some people aren't forced, because depending on what you do, depending on how far left you go, you may be, I don't know. I can't say that for certain, because in being aligned, you learn that I came across another word. It's called omniscience, and it's to know everything. And what I heard when I read that is it's to know everything and to know nothing at all. A wise man or a wise woman knows the more you learn, the less you know. So, Earth is a giant school. And, okay, so ghosts. Okay, I lost my train of thought for just a second. So, it's a giant school. Earth is a giant school. You sign a contract, you have an assignment. What I got as a ghost is someone who came into the 3D realm and broke their contract because it got lost in the Matrix. We've all seen the Matrix. And if you haven't, go watch it. And not just the first one, watch them all. Watch every last one of them. So a ghost, a different definition of a ghost, is someone who comes into this realm, into the 3D realm, breaks their contract because they got lost in the Matrix. And now they're just a body, an avatar roaming around without their spirit. And your spirit doesn't die, but you can be disconnected from it. So, the assignment for the 144,000 are to awaken the ghosts roaming around. And even if you're not a ghost, it's to help lead you. That's what we're here for. That's our assignment. I was told to step into the light and to expose it. And that's just what it is. So, there are gods and goddesses here on Earth in the 3D realm. But they still fall under Source. Source is one consciousness. But Source is all of us. Everything that has breath falls under Source. Everything. That's animal, bugs, humans, gods and goddesses, aliens, if you want to call gods and goddesses aliens, or other beings. We all still fall under Source. Every last one of us. So that's why I call Source, one consciousness. And I don't call Source God, because there are gods and goddesses. It's a misconception, which is, it's okay. It's really, it's not, that part isn't a big deal. Source doesn't require worship. So anything that requires worship, that's not it. Source doesn't need you to worship it. It needs you to remember who you are. It needs you to grow and to complete your assignment. And in the 144 waking all the people up, or the ghosts, it raises the frequency of Earth, of Gaia. The whole planet. It raises our frequency. When each soul wakens up, each soul wakens and raises its vibration. Once you raise your vibration and the people around you begin to raise their vibration, and people around them begins to raise their vibration, and everybody begins to raise their vibration, they don't it raises the frequency of the entire earth. The whole thing raises. And earth got trapped in this loop of density. It's too heavy because so many are so heavy, vibrating so low, because hurt people, and it's become a cycle, and it's become a it's it's lower the vibration of earth, and earth was never supposed to be that. All that stuff that they show in TV that's supposed to be fantasy, like the animals singing and the trees singing, and fairies and dragons and all that. Didn't I already tell you that humans aren't that creative? We all lived as one, and at one point something happened, and now we don't. And it's time to get back to that. It's time for earth to rejoin the rest of everything else. So if you feel low, if you feel heavy, you're too dense, and you need to find a way to raise your frequency, and it takes sacrifice. Everything really takes sacrifice. Everything takes sacrifice. Now, what kind of sacrifice it is up to you. Because you can stay vibrating at a low frequency, but what does it cost you? Do you feel good? Do you hurt people? Do you push people away? Do you feel alone? When you raise your frequency, you will begin to find those who are aligned as well, who are on that same frequency. You will feel lighter. You won't feel as heavy. You will be happy. You will find happiness. You will find joy. You will find peace. Talk to your spirit guides. Talk to your angels. They're there. You have to invoke them. They're always there. Talk to them. They will tell you what you need to know. You just have to listen. You just have to pay attention. Have you been seeing angel numbers? 11, 11, 12, 12, 111, 222, 333, all of those. And it's not even just those numbers. When you see an angel number, you'll know it. Because it calls to you. It pulls at your spirit. You'll look at it and you'll kind of turn, like, You'll be kind of mesmerized by it. Look up that number and see what it means. That means your angels are trying to reach out to you. There's also an angel numbers book with so many numbers in it. Go take a look at it. And all numbers don't mean the same thing every time you see them. Most of the time they do. So like 1010 is for completion. You've completed a cycle in your life. 1111 is new beginnings. That means you're starting a new chapter, a new cycle. Talk to your spirit guides. Spirit guides are also ancestors. Like I said, we all have an assignment, right? So some ancestors choose to become spirit guides when they cross over. They're there to help you. Divine. Divine ancestors now. Don't just say ancestors, because you got some that, everybody doesn't do right, and everyone doesn't do right when they're here. So when you cross over, when you shed your avatar, you're still that. I mean, you're gonna have to redo. You have to relive that life, whatever lesson that you didn't learn. So invoke your divine ancestors. The ones that are there for your highest good. But talk to them; they'll talk back. There's this thing called tinnitus, I think. And it's when your ears ring. Um, I'm not saying that it's not a thing, because it is a thing. When we eat the wrong things, which they put crap in our food, all kinds of crap, and they put it in our food to control you, to keep your pineal gland closed, your third eye, your pineal gland, to keep it closed, because your pineal gland is connected to the spiritual realm, the fifth dimension. And when it's closed, you can't hear. There, the human eyes can only see this much of the spectrum. Like literally, like I think it's like 5%. We can't see nothing. Like we literally walk around blind if you aren't connected